I drank, I smoked, I felt like I was wasting my life away. Do you smoke? This is a story of how I went from a 15-year-old trying to fit in to a decade-long nicotine addiction and to rock bottom in Japan. So picture this. You're 15, naive, standing in an alleyway with someone older. They offer you a cigarette, you take it, pretending the chaos of flavors in your mouth doesn't exist. You smile through the poison. What started as trying to look cool became a dangerous habit I couldn't change for a long time. Fast forward 15 years, I'm staring at the same pack of cigarettes, but now I'm in Japan. I made what I thought was a dream move. I left my comfortable life, my tenure, my career peak, all to better myself and my family's future in Japan. But dreams don't always match reality. When culture shock hit, it was messy. The Japanese workplace was brutal. Every morning I dragged myself out of bed, dreading another day of feeling worthless. And I convinced myself that smoking helped with the stress, that smoking helped me cope with the chaos, that it connected me to home. Because here's what nobody tells you about living abroad when you're struggling. Every familiar habit becomes a lifeline, even the destructive ones. I smoked with my morning coffee, just like back home. I smoked after every meal, just like always. Alcohol and cigarettes became my daily companions. I told myself I was maintaining this connection to who I was. But the truth was I was worse than ever. The lingering trauma from 2020, when so many things happened in my life, mixed with culture shock, workplace stress, it's like this created the perfect storm. And for the first time in my life, I felt like the world was really closing in on me. And I always thought, how could chasing a dream become my worst nightmare? Like, not to be dramatic or anything, but I never expected it to be that hard. But I also had other interests. I turned to music and writing. I played the guitar, I wrote stories, but I also turned to drinking and smoking harder than ever. I surrounded myself with toxic people. I disregarded my mental health. Month after month, I sank deeper into mediocrity, into darkness. It's like when people say they hit rock bottom. That was it for me. Since getting there, I continued doing the same things. I drank, I smoked, I felt like I was wasting my life away. But one night I thought I had to do something. If I wanted to experience life in a different way, if I wanted to feel better about where I was, then I needed to change something, right? And it wasn't some dramatic moment that changed everything. It was exhaustion. I was tired of being tired. I was tired of the waves of darkness consuming me. Tired of wondering why, even after all that time, I still couldn't move forward. I realized that I was back in the same dark hole from 2020, but this time I dug myself even deeper. So in desperation, I decided to confront my demons head on. Alcohol and nicotine were both depressants, and there I was wondering why I always felt so low, so down and so depressed. And I realized then that was actually a solid foundation to build from. I dove into research, I watched YouTube videos, I kept writing, I kept playing music, and then I finally found something that caught my interest. It was The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Alan Carr, and when I watched videos about it, people were saying they couldn't believe that a book actually changed things for them, that they stopped smoking because of that book. And I couldn't believe it at first because it seemed too good to be true. But it opened my eyes to something crucial. Nobody was coming to save me. I had to save myself. So one October night in 2022, I lit a cigarette and I made that vow. This would be my last. From that moment, everything changed. I read the book. The book opened my eyes to so many psychological aspects of dealing with nicotine addiction, because I was always scared of the withdrawals, and everyone says that quitting is difficult. Like, you'll experience all these changes, which I did, like some of the symptoms of what they're saying, but in the end, it was all in my head. Like, I kept thinking my body wouldn't be fine without it, when in fact, I've lived my first 15 years without nicotine and I was fine. I always reminded myself that nicotine made me feel worse, and if I didn't have it, I'd feel better, because nicotine is poison. I shouldn't be afraid to even be exposed to cigarettes. Usually they tell you to avoid these places and the people who might tempt you. If you're set on changing your life for the better, these external forces, they shouldn't be strong enough to convince you otherwise, because if you're set on making healthy changes, then even if you're exposed to cigarette smoke, you'll just tell yourself, I want to be healthy now. I don't want to keep damaging my body because I'm not that person anymore. I think that changed everything for me, because once you start doing it for yourself and not for anyone else, then it's easier. It's a commitment you make to yourself, not to someone else. From that moment, everything changed. No more cigarettes greeted me in the morning, and I noticed how coffee tasted better without nicotine, and I didn't have to worry about smelling like cigarette smoke at work. Instead, there was music, there was writing, and I had a better perspective of life. It took one vow, one decision, one moment of choosing myself over my nicotine addiction. To this day, in 2025, I've kept that promise. And to this day, I find stillness in all the chaos. Look, I'm not saying that quitting smoking will solve all of your problems, but I'm saying that sometimes the thing you think is helping you cope is actually the thing keeping you trapped. If you're struggling with any addiction, any habit that's holding you back, remember this: you have more power than you think, because nobody's coming to save you. You don't have to wait for anyone else. You can start now, you can start tomorrow, you can start any day you feel like you want to permanently change your life. So what's one habit you'd like to change? Drop it in the comments below, and if this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button, because I share more real talk about life, growth, and finding your way through all the chaos. Thanks for listening to my story, and see you in the next one. Stay soulful.